And we are live. Welcome to the live stream, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. If you've just joined me, or if you've just discovered me, my name is Fabian Holland. I'm a guitarist, singer, and songwriter. And today I am talking about how alternate tunings change the way I play guitar. And I'm a guitarist that uses a lot of different alternate tunings. And I used to use a lot more, but now I mainly use DADGAD. But this live stream is kind of a discussion about alternate tunings. But also, like, if you're a regular, you know that feel free to fill up that chat box. I'm not going to have a look at it just yet. I'm just going to kind of start talking and kind of get into the swing of things. But like always, feel free to ask questions about anything, not just alternate tunings, about anything. And I generally get to answer everyone's questions. Just make sure I'm in tune. All right, level seems to be okay. Just checking my levels and stuff. Yeah, let me know that you can hear me okay. And you can hear the guitar and everything. So, let's get into it. I used to play in standard tuning and only in standard tuning. And for a long time, it wasn't until later in life that I started exploring alternate tunings. I mean, I used to use like a drop D a lot and this sort of stuff, which is technically an alternate tuning. But that's about it. You know, I didn't really explore any further from there. And it wasn't until I explored kind of some different tunings and open D minor, and a few others, some C tunings, mainly with slide guitar. I was playing a lot of slide. It really kind of opened my world and made me kind of go back to that childhood state of not knowing what you're playing at all and not really caring what you're playing, you know. Kind of brings you into that world, which is really, really nice. And that's kind of why I fell in love with open tunings. So I used to play like in D minor a lot for slide. And, you know, I felt like they kind of set me free, you know, because I always felt like when I was playing in standard tuning, I always was kind of judging what I was playing a little bit, or thinking too much technically or theoretically as I was playing, you know, especially when it comes to things like improvising and stuff like this and composing. And especially when you don't know a tuning, you know, and you're just discovering an alternate tuning, it can be really fun and it can be exciting and it's all new and, you know, you don't really know what you're playing. You're just discovering how this tuning is reacting. And it's a really nice thing, you know. Let me know in the comments if you use alternate tunings. I'm sure lots of people here do. And let me know which tunings you use as well. So open tunings kind of set me free in the fact that I felt like there was it wasn't restricting me to sort of the boundaries of standard tuning in terms of like shapes and scales and chords, structure, you know. There's lots of structure when you really learn the fretboard in standard tuning, in any tuning really. When you really learn it, you know, it's all shapes really. and structure, which is good on one hand, but on the other hand, it's sometimes nice to just be free and just not think about what you're playing, and not care, just exploring. So that's kind of what brought me to playing in alternate tunings. I might do a song now. I might just start off with like a song. I've got a slightly different setup today. I'm using my ribbon mic by No Hype Audio and on the vocals, and I'm using Neumann KM184 on the guitar. I'm also using a pickup as well, so I have like my pickup a little bit. You're hearing that, but we can go into that a little bit later. Let me start off with a song. This is a song that I do a lot, and I did it last week, but I'm just gonna play it now. I play it today. I play it a lot. I'm sorry for everyone that comes to these that hears this a lot. It's Nobody's Fault But Mine by Blind Willie Johnson. I think I played it last week, but I really enjoy this song. And also another reason why I wanted to choose this song is because it's an example of how I used to be playing everything. I used to be playing everything in, the open, the dominant key of the tuning. Whatever tuning you're in, you play the chord that is that kind of open chord, and it's that tuning. So in DADGAD, D-A-D-G-A-D, it could be either D minor or D major. This is in D minor. I thought I'd just choose this because it's a really great example of just playing within that open key. There's lots of open strings, there's lots of hammer-ons, lots of thirds and fifths and this type of thing. So here we go. Nobody's Fault But Mine. All right. Nobody's fault but mine, and nobody's fault but mine. If I don't read, my soul be lost. And I have a Bible in my home, and I have a Bible in my home. If I don't read, my soul be lost. Mother, she taught me how to read. Mother, she taught me how to read. If I don't read, my soul be lost. Nobody's fault but mine. Mother, she taught me how to read. Mother, she taught me how to read. If I don't read, my soul be lost. I have a Bible of my own. And I have a Bible of my own. If I don't read, my soul be lost. A sister, she taught me how to read. A sister, she taught me how to read. If I don't read, my soul be lost. Nobody's hope but mine. Nobody's fault but mine. Nobody's fault but mine. If I don't read, my soul be lost. And I have a Bible in my home. And I have a Bible in my home. If I don't read, my soul be lost. Nobody's fault but mine. That was Nobody's Fault But Mine. All right. I went a bit overboard on that one. I'm realizing now, it's been here in Berlin, it's been like super, super humid. And I mean, as much as I try to keep my guitar in its case, and I do have like a humidity pack, although I haven't been using it lately, to be honest. I need to buy a new one. You can get these like dehumidifiers, you just put in the guitar, and it kind of really helps with the humidity. And I just realized that I think my guitar probably needs, when I was really hammering on there, it was definitely getting some fret sound. I think I need it setting up a little bit. It hasn't had a setup for a while. When it's just really humid, your guitar definitely, it moves. And it's just good to keep an eye on that, you know. Yeah, I actually usually send it to someone to kind of get it done every now and again. You know, someone who kind of knows what they're doing. I don't really know what I'm doing. I could do it myself, and I'm sure it's quite simple. And I have done it myself on other guitars, but I'm just, you know, this is just so special to me, this guitar, that I'd rather let a professional do it, you know, who kind of knows what they're doing. Yeah. So if you just joined us, we're talking about alternate tunings, and I'm just going to go to the chat now and see what's going on. Let me just open that up. All right, we got lots of action going on. We got many vibes. Hey, Jeej. Yuballs is here. How's everyone doing? Good to see you all. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hey, Christopher, how's it going? Let me try and see one of the questions. I'll start answering a few questions. Here we go. Christopher says, yep, I use 7 alternate tunings from DADGAD to open D, drop D, open C, open G, and DADGAD variations. Yeah. Yeah, Jeej, I thought you'd like Nobody's Fault But Mine. I did that last week. Did that last week for you. Hey, Sparky, how's it going? Says, I was at a very small venue with Sean Mullins. Watched him play a set. His tuning changed my life. Thank you, Sean. Till we meet again. And well done, Fabian. Thanks so much. Appreciate that. Do you know which tuning Sean was using by any chance? Euroball says, I'm not really into alternate tunings. Some songs go in drop D every now and again. Very rare in DADGAD. DADGAD sounds great on big guitars though. Yeah, absolutely. But I think, you know, it can sound nice on smaller guitars as well, you know, kind of a subtle thing. Depends on what you're playing, I think. But I mean, you know, always sounds great on Loudon's DADGAD. Yubol says, amazing reverb, Fabian. What is your dialed? What is it you dialed in for this? Thanks a lot. The reverb, all the effects is just going through the pickup. You know, I have nothing, completely dry on the vocals, completely dry on the small diaphragm condenser, and it's all just the pickup. I can kind of show you what I've got going on. So if you hear that, I'll turn off the small diaphragm condenser. So this is just obviously it's picking up a little bit of my vocals. You can hear the change in the sound. You know, but most of the guitar is actually the mic, you know, and you can hear that there's hardly any, you know, that's what I have. I usually have the pickup is usually just for kind of the low end, and a bit of effects, you know. But this is an Acoustic by Fishman on this one here, and then I have like a stereo setup. If you've seen some of my other videos, you know I have a kind of a stereo setup on my pickup. I just basically double the same signal twice, just using my preamp, just using like the tuner out, and I use that, you know. That's the cool thing about some pedals, they have multiple outputs, you know. So especially preamps have lots of outputs, and some like volume pedals have multiple outputs, and some effects pedals as well. you can use them. They're really useful because they basically just double up your sound, and you have another signal to then further process or do something with. So it just makes it, the possibilities are a lot more available, to do stuff with. So then I just got this a very, nothing too crazy. Just a very kind of naturalish. It's a plate reverb, but I like this pedal because it's designed for acoustic instruments, and it's all very kind of natural sounding reverbs. A lot of those electric reverb pedals, well, those pedals made primarily for electric guitars, a lot of the reverbs sound kind of unnatural, especially the spring reverbs, and I'm not too into them for acoustic, And then I've got more kind of effects going on. I've got a distortion pedal, and then Strymon Blue Sky coming in. You can hear how that comes in. And obviously I've got a volume pedal attached to that, so I can just bring that in and out when I like, so it's like very subtle to getting a little bit more. And then when I put it on full, you can kind of hear that distortion. If I want to do something crazy, I can kind of do that if I want. But then it's all very subtle on the pickup end. If I bring in the small diaphragm again, you can kind of hear how that, it's probably like 90% microphone and just 10% pickup. And it's nice that there's that contrast, That's what I really like about blending. I'm experimenting a lot at the moment, so I'm completely going off on a tangent here, but I hope you don't mind, I'm experimenting a lot with using microphones mixed with pickups. I actually did a recording last night. I spent the whole evening recording, and I was using one ribbon mic to record guitar and vocals, but then I was using my pickup as well and doing some experimental slightly things. Worked out really nice. It was really cool. If you wanna get the insight of that, by the way, then you should join my my community, my free community. Link is in the description down below. Sorry, shameless plug over. But there I share all the details of this. And it's I love exploring this sort of thing, because a pickup by itself just sounds so horrible and unnatural on acoustic. But if you can blend it with a microphone, especially if it's bringing in all that kind of low end, and the microphone is most of the sound, it just kind of complements the overall sound, I hope that makes sense, and I'm not waffling too much, but back to the questions. Just lost where I was. Oh yeah, the reverb. Yeah, okay. Just looking for questions. Jasper's here. Hey Roy. Yeah. Open G. Okay, it's like an open G. Yeah. I haven't experimented too much with G tunings. I should, because they can be really interesting. Christopher says about Loudon and Dadgad. Yes, I don't know why, but I can confirm it. Seems Loudon and Dadgad have a relationship for sure. Absolutely. I finally got a Loudon. Very nice, Christopher. Nice. Congratulations. 032 from 1993. Wow. Yeah, this one's 1994, so it would be a similar year. Very nice. Tonewood amp. Yeah, I've heard of these things. The Tonewood amp, are there things that you basically attach it to the back of your guitar, right? And it gives you like, it's basically an amp that you attach to your guitar, and it gives you effects acoustically. Is that right? Is that the Tonewood amp? Seen them. That's pretty cool. Hey Robert, how's it going? I love open tunings, drop D, double drop D, dadgad, open G, open D, but I don't know enough about any. Love your playing, onwards. Yeah, thanks. Absolutely, and this is one of the things that I kind of want to talk about. Yeah, I'll get back to the. Let me continue, and I'll get back to the questions in a second. So I want to kind of talk about the problems that might occur, you know, when you're using open tunings. Of course, like using the tuning in the open key, you know, in the dominant key. It's all well and good. It sounds really nice having all these open strings, you know. I got a little slide thing going on. Hold on. Here we go. Let's see if this works. So going back a little bit. So basically open tunings set me free, you know. But then pretty soon I found out that everything was kind of sounding the same, you know. Or not sounding exactly the same, but it was hard to kind of break from that sound, you know. Especially like take Dadgad as an example, you know. If I play a bunch of songs and they're all in D minor or D major, you know, then they're all gonna kind of sound very similar because the tuning has a bit of an influence on the sound, you know. And I kind of realized this. So one thing I did to kind of fix this in a way, it wasn't really fixing it, was to use capos a lot, you know. And so that's one way I could kind of play in different keys, but then still be in these dominant minor or major in Dadgad. And I wasn't just using Dadgad, by the way. I was using drop D. I was using C tunings. I was using variations of Dadgad, basically variations of open D tunings and open C tunings, you know. And it got to a point where I was bringing like 2 or 3 guitars to a gig, because each one had to be in a different tuning. I was also playing a lot of slide guitars at the time as well, you know, and then the slide guitars had to be in different tunings. So, you know, it kind of gets a bit ridiculous when you start bringing a bunch of guitars and you don't have like a roadie, or even, I didn't even have a car really, you know. I was living in London and I just had a bunch of guitars. You know, it's getting on the train with a bunch of guitars and gear and stuff. It's not very fun. It's not really something that I can recommend to anyone. If you're going to go on a train, you want to travel light. Really, you want to travel light anyway if you're using any public transport. So that's basically what I found out. I felt like I was using too many tunings. I was using too many tunings. I didn't know. I knew the tunings in the dominant keys, but I didn't really know the tunings that well, you know. So I kind of felt like I was playing in all these different tunings, and everything I played in these tunings kind of sounded very similar, and that I didn't really know the tunings, you know. So that's kind of how I felt at that point. Oops. And I also felt like the tuning was playing me. You know, sometimes the tuning plays you. And what I mean by that is the tuning is influenced by everything you play, right? And sometimes it feels like the tuning is influencing the direction of the song, you know, if you're writing a song or if you're improvising. I definitely feel that when I'm playing in certain keys, like especially in D minor, in Dadgad, you know, I'm especially D minor, I'm always going to these, you know, the minor sevenths and the minor thirds. Which I love, you know, and which is great, but I sometimes try and force myself to look for different notes and just to try and kind of play different notes on purpose and not just go for the same notes, you know. So that kind of led me to force myself to learn the tunings, you know. And I'm not saying that you have to kind of abandon the dominant keys at all. You know, I still use them. I still love them. And I have some tunings that I use that I haven't really learned as well. And that's okay because I don't use them as often, you know. I feel like I know Dadgad fairly well, you know, and I'm still learning it. But that's one thing I can recommend, you know, if you're feeling like your tuning is everything you're playing in open tunings is kind of sounding kind of the same, and everything you play is influenced by the tuning, and everything kind of will to an extent, you know. I mean, that is one reason why we use open tunings and alternate tunings, is because we want to kind of get that sound right. But then exploring different keys within these tunings is definitely something I can recommend. So if you're struggling with that, then explore different keys. And then something like Dadgad using a modal tuning gives you a lot more options, you know. There's a lot more keys that I can play in Dadgad, and that's kind of why I chose Dadgad. I could have chosen any key, really, you know. Any tuning. I could have chosen a C tuning, but I chose Dadgad to kind of really learn, you know. And I'm still learning it. But this is one thing, and I want to just do a quick example of. I'll do another song, and I'll do an example of like what I started to do when I started to learn the tuning. So there's a few keys that are really nice to play in Dadgad. One of them is G major. I really like to play G major in Dadgad. So this has the capo really high as well on this song. So that's G. I mean, I have the capo on the 6th fret, but to me that's G, you know, in my head. G major is really nice because in the key of G you also have a lot of have a lot of D's, you have a lot of A's, and obviously you have G. So a lot of these open strings are already in dadgad, you know. So I can kind of still use these open strings, and that's kind of what I look for, at least to start off with. And that's what I would recommend if you're looking to explore in different keys within your open tunings. Then look for keys that already have a lot of these open strings, the open strings that you have, you know, or a lot of the notes. And G major has that. It has some really nice sounds, you know. And it kind of still sounds like dadgad in a way, but not as much, you know. And it definitely has a kind of a different sound. So I'll play this song. It's called Like Father, Like Son. And I wrote this song a while ago, and it's about me turning in to my dad and being scared of that fact. Yeah, so here we go. Music starts, had too much to drink. One Christmas evening and the family's all here. From my seat, stand up to my feet. Attempt to move my legs and hips to the beat. Oh, I guess it's true with what they say. We all turn into our parents one day. To my shock, as cool as I am, I'm dancing the same way as my old man. Oh, like father, like son, my chances are none. Like a father, like son, oh, my time has come. Like father, like son, my chances are none. Like a father, like son, oh, my time has come. makes one happy guy. So me old man has more than what just meets the eye. And I'd be glad to have half what he has. And I'd be proud if I turn out just like my dad. Like father, like son, my chances are none. Like a father, like son, oh, my time has come. Was like father, like son. So you can kind of hear how kind of what I was doing there, you know, using these open strings. I mean, it's still kind of using the open tuning, you know, to my advantage of having these open strings, you know. But just something as simple as playing in a different key can really open things up for you, and it can also really inspire you and learn to use your tuning in a different way, you know. And as I say, like, this is really, it really helps having a modal tuning. And a modal tuning is a tuning without a major third in, you know. So it's neither major or minor, you know. It's a sus tuning. And yeah, we'll go to the comments now. See what's going on. G says, hold on. Yeah. Hold on. It's not really an open tuning. That's true. You know, I never know whether to say open tuning, alternate tunings. It's. I should really just say alternate tunings. You know. It doesn't have a major or minor chord when not fretted. Yeah, it's technically it's an alternate tuning or a modal tuning, you know. So yeah, forgive me if I might say it's an open tuning, but that's just me kind of forgetting that it's not an open tuning, you know. But I just kind of throw out these terms of open, alternate, and modal and stuff. Yeah, forgive me if I get it wrong. Yeah, Tony McManus, such a great guitar player. Said the Dadgad was inspired by the bagpipes. Yeah, I think like the history of Dadgad. I don't think there's like a record of who actually first discovered Dadgad. Um, but who was it that I think there was someone that Davy Graham, I think, created the first recording of Dadgad. Um, if you haven't heard of Davy Graham, check him out. He wrote this song called Angie, an amazing song. It's kind of he was an English guitarist. I don't think he ever sung. I think he was just a solo guitarist. He was kind of in the folk scene, I think, around like the 60s. But he's got some amazing songs. There's a lot of musicians that were inspired by him that are around today, that are a lot bigger musicians, you know. But yeah, I'm not surprised if the Dadgad was also inspired by the bagpipes. I heard that Davy Graham went to Africa and heard some of the African musicians playing, maybe on the kora or something, you know, playing certain tunings or certain notes in a certain way, and maybe he came up with this. I don't know, but absolutely, I'm sure you can kind of hear it in there a little bit. Yeah, because bagpipes kind of have that drone. That's true as well. All right, I should be looking at the questions here. Sparky says, Fabian, do you know? Have you heard Jackson Brown opening Farewell? Do you like the progression and tuning? I haven't heard that actually. Jackson Brown opening Farewell. I'll check that out after, but I haven't heard that song. But I always check out recommendations in these live streams, so yeah, I'll have a listen to that one. By the way, everyone, this is going to be my last live stream for a little bit, because we're going away for a little bit, so for a summer break. So I'm going to take a few weeks holiday with my family, and then I'll be back like mid-August with the live streams again. So if you have any burning questions that you want to ask, tonight's the night. Tonight's the night to do it. Yeah, I don't know if Gij answered your question, Many Vibes. So it's not all chords that in Dadgad are either major or minor. It's simply just the open. You know, I mean, I've got this capo on the 6th fret, so but it's the same. Like, if you're open, it's D A D G A D. You know, there's no third in there, so it doesn't make it major or minor. So you have to actually fret the third, that third, or the major third, you know, to make it minor or major. You know, that's basically what he means. But it's these modal tunings are really nice because you could have that freedom to make it either major or minor. It doesn't have that already, you know. If this already had as an open, if I strummed all the strings and it was like this, a minor sound, then that would influence everything that I play, and it would kind of make it a little bit harder to play in a major key, you know, because I had to, that minor third I would have to think about, oh, that's not in a major key, so You know, I could technically play it. You know, there's no wrong notes in music, but it would just kind of sound a bit strange, you know, depending on the context, of course. But yeah, generally, if I'm playing in a minor key, you know, I'm not using the major third, you know, in there, if that makes sense at all. I hope that clears things up a little bit. Yeah, I think Gij cleared that up. Christopher says, Eric, the flute maker, once said, the major's in the minor and the minor's in the major. That's pretty good. Yeah, Davy Graham is amazing. Just looking for any questions here. You mentioned alternate tunings are appealing because you're exploring like a beginner again, not thinking of theory. Does theory ruin it when you learn in an alternate tuning? Yeah, I don't think it does ruin it. I'm still exploring, you know. Of course, you have that. There's a certain thing where you have when you're playing an instrument for the first time, you know, or obviously you don't have the technical ability yet, but you know you kind of see it in kids where they are just having so much fun and exploring the notes and just being amazed by what sound they're creating, you know. And it's a little bit of that kind of feeling, especially when you're using a tuning that you don't know at all, you know, and you're just exploring it and you're not thinking about the chords or and another thing that the kids do is that they're not judging anything that they're playing, you know. They don't care if they play something that doesn't go with another note or the chord isn't right or whatever, you know. They don't care. They just have complete freedom and I don't know the word, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to say. It's like they have this freedom and to just kind of just let it all out. And yeah, and you kind of get into that when you play in an alternate tuning that you don't know. But learning an alternate tuning it does benefit me because I'm can then kind of further, how do I put this in a way? I can then play in different keys and play kind of the way that I want to play, you know. It's kind of a balance, but when the reason it doesn't ruin it is because that I'm not really thinking about that when I'm playing it, you know. It's like this thing of when you learn something, when you put it into practice, you need to kind of forget it, you know. And the way that I think my hands are just moving to certain areas without me kind of thinking about it, you know, too much, or I'm not thinking about the theoretical side, you know. Like when I'm composing, I'm not necessarily thinking theoretically. I'm just trying to tap into the emotions, trying to compose emotionally, and not trying to think about too much about the theoretical side of things, you know. although it is in my brain, I can unlock it when I want to. But yeah, in these moments, I like to not think about theoretical things too much, you know. And it's just a case of like my fingers kind of know, like if I was playing in an A minor, you know, my fingers kind of know where to go, you know. But it's like my brain is still making this decision to go in certain areas, you know, depending on what I'm playing, you know. So yeah, I don't think it ruins it. It does. You don't have that sort of first initial sort of exploration that you do. You do lose that a little bit, but I think that's it. Yeah, hope that makes sense. Sparky says, if you solo act, you gotta use alternative tunings. Gotta. Yeah, I mean, there's still some great soloists that use standard tunings, you know. But yeah, absolutely. Tommy Emmanuel uses standard tuning, no alternate tunings. His thing is he makes standard tunings sound like alternate tunings. You know, he's so good. Try to play Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds in standard tuning. You know, I wonder if Tommy Emmanuel has actually played that in standard tuning. I don't know. Google it. We'll see. But yeah, absolutely. I feel you. Okay. No, I didn't see your question earlier. Sorry, Gigi. Have you tried alternate tunings on a 12 string? Sorry, I missed that. Yes, I have, actually. I've got my Frankenstein behind me. That's a 12 string. I'd like to get some more 12 strings because 12 strings are amazing. 12 strings in alternate tunings is just amazing. Has anyone heard of John Butler? I used to listen to John Butler quite a lot. Yeah, he plays a 12 string, but he actually takes technically it's an 11 string because he takes the really thin string on a 12 string off because it's just really thin and it's harsh sounding. But there's a pointless fact there for you there. I don't know why. Yeah, it's at one point 12 strings, yeah, open tunings. He uses like slides as well on a 12 string, which is actually really hard to use a slide and be very precise with the 12 string because the strings are quite close together. Just makes it a bit more tricky with a slide, but he plays some really cool stuff. If you haven't heard of John Butler, which I'm sure a lot of people have, from Australia. Christopher says, have you ever considered playing only in Dadgad like Pierre Benzison? I pretty much almost do, you know. It's like most of my songs are in Dadgad, you know. Or do you think that that this step would have been holding you back due to limitations? Yeah, I think it would have held me back if I'd just committed to Dadgad. But you know, there was a point there when I really I was listening to a lot of Pierre Benzison and listening to what he was saying, and it really made sense to me, you know. But he's at a whole nother level, you know, of learning an alternate tuning. It's it's like, yeah, he can play He plays a lot like bars as well. If you see him play, he bars a lot, and he plays. He doesn't play that many open strings, you know. He just knows it inside and out, you know. I think I heard him on an interview once. He said Dadgad is part of his DNA, you know. It's like he's been playing it for so many years. He knows it inside and out. That's all he plays. But he can play anything, you know, and kind of make it not sound like Dadgad, you know. I mean, I still like to use open tunings, you know. that's why I'm playing in Dadgad, you know, to an extent. So I still like to kind of use. Okay, I keep saying open tunings. It's a modal tuning, but you know what I mean. That's why I like to use alternate tunings to use these open strings, you know. So I don't want to limit myself as well, you know. So yeah, I think it's a bit of a balance. It's a bit of a balance. Hope that makes sense. Thanks, Sparky. Cheers, appreciate that. I should stop laughing in this ribbon mic. It's like giving loads of plosives. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Doyle Dykes is amazing alternate tunings. Yeah, for sure. Oh, many vibes. I missed your comment. What was it? Super cool. You're in the same magazine as Derek Trucks. Yeah, that was really cool. You saw that video, the video that I posted recently. I was trying something different, you know. I was trying something different. Yeah, that rings a bell, Doyle Dykes. I think I've heard some stuff from Doyle Dykes. And Elliott Smith. Yeah, I've heard of Elliott Smith as well. Plays most of his songs in D. Yeah, absolutely. All right. I think I've caught up with the questions with everyone. If you have any questions regarding anything, then now's the time to do it. I've actually been really trying to do a lot of videos recently of just trying to. I think we have like 4 days before we go away, and I'm just trying to get as many videos done as possible so I can then, you know, still have YouTube videos to post out to you all if I'm not doing the live streams. But I would say this. I would say that if you're not signed up to the community, then please do so, because you know, it's a way we can still connect. And I've got a Facebook group of this community, and you know, there I can kind of share things. Even though I'll be on holiday, I still like to share stuff, you know. I still like to speak to you all. So, you know, make sure you do so. And I'm going to make sure I'm kind of in the process right now of changing my website to another website provider. So if you click on my website, it's actually down at the moment just because it's in the process of the transition. So if you click on the link on this video, it might not work right now, but after the live stream, I'm going to change it and make sure it is a working link to sign up if you're not signed up. Just to let you know, if you click on it now and you realize that it's not working. So last slide, I would say, is basically this is learn your tuning. Learn your tunings. And you don't have to learn them to the extent of like Pia Benson. You don't have to pick one tuning, I think. Although that does help, you know, you don't have to completely limit yourself, you know. Don't say you're never playing any other tuning. But that's what I did basically, is I chose Dadgad, and I just kind of learned it. And a good way to learn it is to play in different keys. Try and start with these ones that have a lot of the open strings of your tuning anyway, you know. Like for Dadgad, it's like G major, also G minor as well, is a good one, and A minor is another good one. What else is there? There's even C major. You know, and explore these different keys within your tuning, the same way you would any open tuning, you know. That's what I would suggest. But that's basically what I did. But to summarize, open tunings completely changed the way that I play guitar and I think about guitar now, you know. I even, when I go back to standard tuning, I find that I play it like an open tuning, you know, or an alternate tuning, you know. And also with playing fingerstyle, it just really fits fingerstyle with alternate tunings. So that's what I would say. And also modal tunings, you know, if you're not exploring modal tunings, that's any tuning with no third in there. So it's not a major or a minor tuning. It's like a sus, so it'd be like a sus2 or a sus4 in there or something like this, you know. These are really interesting to explore. All right, I'll do one more song for you all, and make sure you get the questions in now. If you have any questions about my setup, about any of my videos, anything like that, now's the time to do it. By the way, I'm so far behind replying to YouTube videos comments. I think I'm like 2 weeks behind. I have so many questions on YouTube and comments. I try and do as many as I can, and I do eventually reply to everyone. So if you've asked a question on one of my videos and I still haven't responded, I'm sorry. I will get to it eventually. I'm like 2 weeks behind. But a good way to get me to answer it quickly is to join on these live streams, because I generally do answer everyone's questions. So join on the live streams, or another thing to do is to sign up with the community. Links in the description down below, and you can join there, and you can join the Facebook group, and then you can have access to me directly and just ask me any questions. So yeah, there's that's what I'd say about that. All right, gonna do a song. Here we go. This is called The River. Should mention what it's called. And this is in G minor. G minor. It's also a nice key to play in Dadgad. She's a drunk, middle-aged mum. She had children when she was too young. Now it's something you might be surprised. 3 different kids from 3 different guys. She spends her time drinking away, drinking special brew every day. How did she end up this way? People walking past would say. Down by the river, you may find nothing but tits and tat. Here at the river, we all are just a bunch of river rats. He's a loner, he's an old man, an old boater, they used to have plans. Now all he has is a very long beard, keeping him awake all his tears. He has one friend in all the world, his old dog with a long grey coat. He never sees the light of day, just waiting for time to pass away. Down by the river, you may find nothing but tits and tat. Here at the river, we all are just a bunch of river rats. He's a dad, he's a nice guy, a young father that doesn't know why he can't see his poor little son, 'cause all these things this kid's mother has done. He has no money, no job, he'd do anything to earn a few bob. You look at him and you might judge that all he feels for his son is love. Down by the river, you may find nothing but tits and tat. Here at the river, we all are just a bunch of river rats. That was The River. All right, so let me have a look at, see if we have anything on the comments here. All right, what do we got? Fabian, English, Irish, Scottish. I mean, I'm English, but the name, I'm not sure the origin of the name. But actually, my parents lived in Italy for a long time, and my sister was born in Italy, but they're both English. And you know, you get the names sort of Fabio or Fabiano in Italy, and maybe they got influenced by that, and I guess the English version would be Fabian, but I'm not sure the origin of Fabian. It's not a popular name. I never knew any other Fabian. I hated my name when I was a kid. But you know, you just do anything that's different, you know, you'd hate. I love it now, you know, but you know, it's just the way things are. Just asking, not judging. No worries. All good. Are you a working musician? Where can we see more of your work? I mean, I'm online. I am technically a working musician. I haven't played live in a while, and that's something that I'd like to do more. I think there was just the transition of like 2020, and sorry, I keep getting too close to this mic. Of like I was touring a lot and playing a lot more, but now I'm doing a lot more online. So I haven't played a gig in a while, but I would like to more. But you can of course check out my stuff. I'm on Spotify. I'm on all platforms. But yeah, I'd like to be playing more live. You know, that's something I'd like to be doing. But it's hard. It's hard to kind of get back out there. Something I'm struggling with, especially with being a dad, having a family, you know, with everything else. I do a lot of teaching, so that's kind of my main thing. At the moment, it's in around Berlin, but yeah, I'd like to be doing more teaching online actually, and that's something that I'm going to be kind of announcing soon. I'll be doing some more one-on-one stuff. So make sure you're subscribed. Again, the plug. Sorry. If you want to find out more about that. Yeah, exactly. I have a playlist of all my songs on. You can find it all on YouTube as well. You know. Hey Roy, thanks a lot. No, I appreciate that. Glad you found the live stream. Yeah, check out my YouTube videos if you haven't seen them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, many vibes. I am British. From around southeast UK, southeast of England, just outside London, really, you know. But I live in Berlin. All right, I think that's all the questions. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining the live stream. Oh no, Jeej, you got one more. You snagged one in last minute. All right. Why do you not do a mini gig as a live stream one Saturday? Yeah. Um, do you mean like just like a gig, like on the live stream? Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I do with like the ones just chats and songs. That's basically kind of like my version of a gig. Um, I answer questions and I just do songs. Rather than doing like a topic. Is that what you mean? Or do you mean actually going to a live show and then live streaming it? Does that mean? Or just tunes? Yeah. I do now and again. I like to kind of flip it a little bit of so I have the topics. I like to have topics, because if all of my live streams were just Fabian Holland chats and songs, of course all you lovely lot would turn up. But apart from that, I wouldn't get many other people coming along. Um, so I like to kind of have these topics. Of course, we can talk about lots of other things, but I have these topics to kind of, yeah, so other people can find me a little bit, because the cool thing about YouTube is it's a search engine, and people like this one here, alternate tunings. If people are searching alternate tunings, this live stream might turn up, and they might watch it, kind of thing. So, and they would discover me, and then this whole thing. So that's an aspect of it as well, but also to kind of make it a bit more of like an edutainment. Is that a word? It's like education and entertainment. Edutainment. It's a I think it's a phrase that people use. Yeah, there is a different psychology between concert and chat. That is for sure. That is true. I find that I don't know. It's doing a live stream. It's nice that I can kind of chat to you all. I can actually see that, and you don't really have that in a gig. At a proper gig, and I think I would kind of miss that a little bit. If I was just to do a live stream, literally just like a gig, and not take any questions, I would feel a bit strange, for some reason. I don't know why. I kind of like the interaction, of the live stream and being able to read all your comments and stuff like this, But maybe I'll do more tunes. The thing is, of like, I just end up chatting and not doing enough songs. I know. I get what you're saying. And maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that one day. I don't know. Just do more songs. Or maybe what I should do is just kind of limit myself to how many questions or how many things I should answer, and then do another song, or time-wise have it like a timer or something, or I could do like, I don't know, 5 songs and then a bit of a chat as like a break, in a lot of my shows that I do or did, I would always have like a half, what would you call it? Half time, right? You would have like a pause where people would refill their drinks, they would buy CDs, and I could chat, So maybe you could have something like that. Maybe that's not a bad idea. Something like this, I do like, I don't know, however many songs, and then we have like 10 minutes or 15 minutes of chats, and then I do more songs, and that's it. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you'd be up for that, where I just kind of play like a concert style thing. Yeah, and I guess I could still talk. There's nothing stopping me talking like at a normal gig. I would still talk and I would still introduce songs and still kind of have things. Intermission, thanks, G. Yeah, appreciate that. Intermission, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Let me know if anybody else is up for that. Maybe I'll do that one day. Yeah. So like I said, I'm really going to try and get a few videos scheduled for all of you. Because as I said, I won't be doing a live stream for a few weeks. So yeah, it'd be nice to have a few sort of videos, YouTube videos coming out, so you can all still see me. All right. Fantastic. Okay. Thanks so much, everyone. I think I'm gonna end it here because it's getting late where I am now. And yeah, I appreciate you all. Thanks so much for coming along on the live streams. I'm always surprised to how many people turn up on these live streams. And if it's your first time here, or you've just discovered me, then I try and do these live streams every Saturday, although I'm taking a break for a few weeks now because we're going away with my family, but I usually do them on Saturdays. So, and I usually try and schedule them in. So if you're not sure if I'm doing one, then just look a few days before. I usually schedule it in. If you don't see anything, then I won't be doing it. But yeah, usually the day before, a few days before, I'll have it scheduled in. Yeah. Thanks so much. Thanks everyone for joining. I appreciate you all. Like I said, if you're not signed up to the community, make sure you do that and join the Facebook group. And then we can have these chats outside of the live streams, and have various discussions. I really enjoy talking to you all. Appreciate it. Thanks so much, and have a wonderful weekend, everyone. And I'll see you again in the next live stream. Bye.